Sedwood here, and today I wanted to make an updated video about my mod, Advanced Utilities. It's been a while since I put out my first video, and I've added a lot of stuff. So, first up, as you can see, there's 9 different ores: copper, tin, zinc, silver, lead, bauxite, aluminum, nickel, platinum, and tungsten. Of these, only 5 are actually really used. These 4 are for later on when I add more things. They still spawn though, so chunks don't have to be regenerated. Next up are the blocks. All of these work as beacon blocks. All the various metals: zinc, brass, bronze, steel. This special iron block that works, light passes through it, so it's kind of useful. Not really. Next up is my tree. There's the ripperwood log, the planks, the leaves. You get saplings from the leaves that generate. You can get rubber from the saplings, that kind of stuff. Next up is the first block, the kiln, made with cobblestone, planks, and a block of coal. The kiln is unique because it has 4 slots for cooking all at once. And if we go in here and grab some of this, as you can see, it's pretty quick and it smelts 4 at once. Next up is the smeltery. Using this, you can make both casts using a stone item and some clay, or metal items using a cast and some metal. So while that's going, move over to the next block. Oh, and the recipe for that: some clay, some cobblestone, and some coal. Well, as I was saying, just put some ingots in there and you get blocks. Works pretty well. It's super quick. Show you here. Oop. Does 1 a tick, so super quick. Now, if we go back over to the kiln over here, it also works as an alloy maker. So 3 copper and 1 tin gets you 2 bronze. Works pretty well. Alright, next up is the wooden crate itself. Oh, I didn't show you the compressor. Compressor, just a piston, some stone, and cobblestone. Wooden crate, however, is logs, a chest, and some stone rivets, which is just some cooked stone, like that. The wooden crates have 64 slots, so pretty darn handy. You can see the stone mill we've used, what's that, 6 ore to get 8 dust, so that works pretty well. And the smeltery is turning bronze bars into bronze rods, which can be used for a number of recipes. Anyway, here are all the ingots in the mod. Whole bunch: steel, palladium, iridium, platinum, tungsten, and then the iron plates that you make in the smeltery, used for various recipes. Brass rivets, also used for various recipes. Can be used to make saddles or horse armor. Steel rivets and steel plates, those aren't used for much. Oh, next up, these I really like. These are the speedy mine carts. grab one of these, some track, some redstone, and some normal track. We need a block. So say I wanted to go super duper fast. All I would need is one speedy minecart. Let's get in it, place redstone. Yeah, these get up to, I think it's 5 times faster than normal minecart. Really good for travel. And you can make a speedy chest cart and a speedy chunk cart with a chunk loader. These are pretty cheap, just coal, redstone, diamond. They load 1 chunk. And then you can also make a chunk chest cart. So it's a chunk loading chest cart. Pretty handy. Next up is the crowbar. This can be used to break tracks super fast. So, as you can see, it's near instant break for tracks, and it can also be used. If we place this cart in this cart, boop, and now the carts are linked together. As you can see over there, now they aren't. It's pretty handy. You can stack multiple chest carts on top of each other and send them flying, so that's mostly what that was designed for. Okay, next up we have the bronze wrench. It's just made with some bronze. This is useful. It's used for rotating various blocks, and you can also use it to pick up a bunch of blocks throughout the mod. We'll probably be using that later, so I'll keep it in the inventory. Next up is glue. Glue is made with flour, which is just crushed wheat, either in the stone mill or a block we'll get to later, and some water. You can use glue to make leads, you can use it to make pistons. It's ore dictionaried with slime balls. So, oh, and you can also use it with 3 paper to make a book, so a cheaper book recipe. Next up is rubber. Rubber you can get just by smelting rubber wood currently. There's no use for it in my mod, but it is actually rubber, so it can be used in other mods. Next up are the quick potions. So a quick bottle of water. It's just made with a water bottle. Then you can make an awkward potion by crafting a quick bottle of water with nether wart. And you can turn that into a quick potion that you can drink later on with some tiny diamond dust, which is just 9 per diamond dust. Then if you add a glistering melon, you get a level 1 healing potion. And if you add some glowstone, you get a level 2 healing potion. You can also use the tiny diamond to upgrade a regular potion of healing. These are handy because if we go into controls and hit E, you can see we drank it. It will search when you hit E, it'll search your inventory and drink those. So you can just have a stack in your inventory. And it'll drink them. So if you get hurt, you can just drink one from your inventory like that. It makes boss battles really cool. And they stack. So, yeah. And they're super quick to craft because you can actually just craft them in crafting. Alright, next up are the dusts. Just a bunch of dust for everything. Coal dust. It's coal dust. These are all just from grinding ores and stuff. Let's see. Flour. That's from grinding flour. Wood you get from smashing wood in the stone mill and a later block. And wood pulp can be used to make paper. So 3 wood pulp and 1 bucket of water gets you 1 paper. Pretty easy. And that's about it. So those are all the dusts. Next up here we have the bags. Just a bunch of different colored bags. one for each colorable, and it's just a small chest, but pretty handy. You can stack them inside of each other. Let me take this stuff out. Get myself some cobblestone. Okay. There we go. And go back to game mode C. Open this. If we fill this bag, cobblestone. There we go, and then we can put one cobblestone here. When we mouse over the bag, it'll say it contains a bunch of cobblestone. So now if we grab another bag and put a bunch of these bags in there, and then put a piece of cobblestone in, you can see we have 46,000 cobblestone. So not only do the bags stack, but the search mechanism also stacks. Contains 28 weight bag. Pretty cool. Alright, next up is the tool forge. This is where you take the parts from the smeltery from earlier. You craft them together into tools, or you take some plate, and this is the armor forge. This is where you can upgrade armor. You can also use this to upgrade tools, which I'll show you in a minute. So you can upgrade armor, or you can craft armor. Pretty cool. Next up is the item tube. Transfers items from one place to another, basically a hopper, but it can go in any direction, as you can see. Pretty quick, and they normally respond to redstone just like a hopper, but if you're giving it power, it won't transfer. But if you give it a redstone torch, then it will pull items out. Oh, it pulls stuff out of the item forge, armor forge. This is a restricted item tube. So normally, by default, it's a whitelist, so you put in the things you want it to pull out. But you can, with Squid Sack, right-click it, and it'll turn to blacklist mode. So that means it won't pull out those. Using a whitelist one pulling out and a blacklist one pulling out, you can easily create like an item sorting system. These are really simple to make. Item tubes are just iron plates, which you get from smeltery, and this is just redstone and that. These forges are also really easy to make. As you can see, tool forge, just an anvil, stick in iron, anvil, stick in bronze. So pretty darn easy. Next up is the fluid tube. The same thing as item tube, but transfers fluids instead. Pretty handy. We'll get to fluids later on. So as you can see, we made a bronze chest piece and a bronze pickaxe. Bronze chest piece can be worn. Gives you some armor. It's about as good as iron. Has a bunch more durability though. As you can see, it has 640, and iron has 240. So 400 more durability. Now what you can also do is you can take an enchanted book. And see. Wrong page. So you can put enchanted books on tools and enchanted books on armor. You can also repair tools and armor in the respective forge just by putting the ingot of the right type. So that's how that goes. Next up is the block breaker. This works like any other block breaker. Give it some power, and it'll break the block below it. Only there wasn't one. So breaks the block below it. Or it should be. Okay, that's not working for some reason. Next up is the block placer. There you go. You have some power, it'll place a block. It places blocks in this order. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Next up is the grower block. This one is used to grow plants. It'll work on saplings, wheat, carrots, and potatoes. There we go. So you put in bone meal, it eats it up, turns into a charge, but when you break the block, it'll just respawn your bone meal. So those, if I get that grower block back. And the recipe for the block placer is just a bunch of dispensers and some redstone. Block breaker is bronze, sort of like a piston. And the grower is just some saplings, redstone, and dispenser. Come back over here, you can see we got the enchantment on our tool and our armor. That's all good. Next up is the trash block. Works like trash, just deletes whatever's in there. Pretty simple recipe. Alright, next up are all of the sort of armor, the more tooly items. First up is the pneumatic gun, made with steam canister. All of the steam powered items utilize the steam canisters for storing of steam. So they're crafted with them, and you can upgrade them in the respective forges to increase the max storage capacity. So every steam canister gives you 16 buckets worth of steam in the item held. And you can just add them infinitely. It'll crash if you get to 2 billion. So don't add so many that you get to 2 billion. Anyway, the pneumatic gun, pretty simple, made like this. Fires bullets, which are made using bullet heads and bronze bullet casings. You make these all through the casting system. And then you could put the bullets in the magazine. So the magazine is made like so. If we shift right click, put the bullet in there, has one bullet. Shift right click with that. And as you can see in the top right, we have no steam and we have one bullet out of 576. Next up is the steam jetpack. This one is pretty darn cool. So 2 steam canisters, bronze rod, iron rod, leather. And then you grab this. We put it on, as you can see, steam, 0 of 32,000, flight time 0 seconds remaining, and with the F key by default we can enable and disable the jetpack. Pretty cool. Next up is the rebreather. While currently the air system is not implemented, the food system is. If you put items in the food slots, when worn in the helmet slot, it will automatically feed you. So let's grab some. What do we want? Let's grab some steak. As you can see, top right we have 2,048 food left. And if we jump around, it'll eventually feed us. Okay. Next up are the running shoes. These are really amazing. The rebreathers made like this. Pretty simple. These are made with some string, leather, and brass rivets. These are my favorite items in the game. So these, when you hold the bound button, which you'll say on the item, they run super fast at the cost of terrible amounts of food. As you can see in the bottom right, my bar is just draining. Makes it really good to use with the helmet then. So once we get our food down to the part where steak, we fill this up. See, fill this up. Took away food, but Although it auto feeds you, it does not give you any saturation as a downside. So, pretty darn good. Let's see, peaceful. And best part is if you take, where is this? Lock back, protection, feather falling. So if you put feather falling on these boots using the Armor Forge, one level of feather falling will make you unable to die from fall damage, and every subsequent level will reduce the maximum damage that you can take. With feather falling 4, you can never take more than half your current health. Not your max health, your current health. So, pretty darn handy. Next up are the Steam Power Legs, made like so. When charged with Steam, they let you run faster, stacking with the running shoes. And they also give you step assist, stacking with the running shoes, because these do let you step up 1 high blocks. Pretty darn cool. Next up are the upgrades that you can craft. Efficiency, Aqua Affinity, Feather Falling, Luck, Protection, and Sharpness. So made like so, like so. Feather Falling is made with aluminum. Luck is made with lapis. Protection, iron or bronze blocks. And Sharpness is made with quartz blocks. Sharpness also applies power to bows or the gun. And luck applies either luck or fortune, depending on if it's on a tool or a weapon. And then these can also be upgraded to level 2 forms or level 3 forms. They're pretty darn expensive, but they're guaranteed enchantments, so that's why they are. And that's also why they max out at 3. I didn't want to give you a way of making level 4 or 5 enchantments. Next up is the tank. Holds 64 buckets, bronze machine block, and some glass. Holds 64 buckets of water, and when placed on water, it'll automatically suck up the water. And so if it's on infinite spring, it'll infinitely create water. Then that water is flowing through the fluid tubes into the steam boiler. So this is like your most basic way of creating steam, which powers the machines and tools in this mod. So with the steam boiler, you get some water in there, and then you put in something flammable. Start creating steam. Tell you the burn time, so we're getting about 2 to 3 seconds of burn time on each block of wood, because wood is pretty terrible. And we're making some steam. Now the name is wrong on the steam because some other mod is changing it because of Aura Dictionary. This is Aura Dictionary with all other kinds of steam. Hey, let's test these shoes real quick. So we are going to be 40 blocks up or so. And we'll just go game mode S. And we only took 4 hearts of damage. So pretty cool. And they also work while flying to make you go faster while you're flying. So once it's built up some steam, you can use the steam charger. Made like so. Bronze block, bronze machine block, and bronze casing to charge items. Like that jetpack. Cool. Now with that jetpack charged, you can go flying. It's pretty quick, as you can see. And while it's activated by holding space, you won't take damage from fall damage. And if you hold shift, you'll slowly glide down. There we go. Next up is the high pressure boiler. This is made with steel machine block. It's really expensive because each plate and rivet, instead of taking a ingot, takes a block of steel. But this thing is pretty cool. It is 5 times faster than the normal steam boiler, but costs only 4 times the fuel. So not only is it more efficient, but it's a whole lot faster. Next up is the steam crusher, made like so. This will just crush things at a guaranteed 2-to-1 ore ratio, better than stone meal. You can use it to get double diamonds for diamond dust. Diamond dust. There we go. And then you can turn diamond dust, you can just smelt it back into diamonds. Next up is the steam furnace. This also runs on steam, made like so. This will cook 2 items at once, really fast. And while alloying, let's see, we need some coal, and we need some copper ingot, and some tin ingot. So if we were to take this over here, put some coal in here, and get this filling up, you can move the steam with fluid tubes out, or you can just place this on top because it'll auto eject into the top. So now if we put some copper here and some tin here, as you can see, we'll get 3 for each craft instead of 2. So much better way of making alloys. Next up is the steam smeltery. It's much faster. It takes 1/4 the time. So the normal one takes 1 minute per craft. This one crafts 4 in a minute. So a lot faster. Next up is the recipe for that. Go. Next up is the steam compressor, made like so. This thing doubles the steam consumption of the block it's under, so you would stack it like that, but it makes it run twice as fast. So just an upgrade. And if you're stacking them how I originally intended it, so if you're going like that, and like that, so stupid jetpack. There we go. So not only would this one consume twice as much steam, but the compressor itself would also consume a little steam. That can be negated by flowing the steam through fluid tubes and passing it through the compressor. But they all stack together like that, look nice, pretty good. We've seen the steam charger already, and we got the bellows. So the bellows, when placed on the side of a boiler, as you can see, this one going pretty slow. Placed like this, it will speed up the boiler quite a bit. So it's ticking down way faster than 1 second per each of the remaining seconds, and it's making a lot more steam. So there's no loss while placing the bellows. They're just mildly expensive, and they take up spots around the block, so you don't have as many inputs or outputs. Alright, next up is the more steel stuff. So first up is the quarry frame. These are made with just some steel blocks, and then the quarry is made through a bunch of steel. So the quarry costs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 steel blocks. Quite expensive. But once you get the frame in the quarry, you can place the frame. And if you draw out a square, or a rectangle, you can place the quarry in the back, and then right click it. It'll determine the quarry size, then it'll set its boundaries, and then if we grab this, some water bucket, and some coal, you can see and now we need some tubes. So as it gets steam, we'll start mining. You can also add a Fortune 3 upgrade to it to give it the effect of Fortune 3. And you can pull items out with item tubes and all that stuff. Works pretty well. Next up is how to make steam. So to make steam, you're going to need steel oven blocks, 26 of them, and then one steel oven controller, so brass around a bronze machine. So you just place it like this. It's a 3x3, and you leave those two empty for now. You place the controller, and then you place a block in front, and there you go. So a steel oven requires a bunch of steam, 3,000 steam per craft. And then you also need sand, coal, iron dust, redstone, and nickel dust. And all of that will turn into one steel ingot. And it takes half a minute, 30 seconds to craft. It takes a while, it's slow, costs a whole lot. But use it to make the best tools in the pack. In the mod, steel tools have 3200 durability, twice that of diamond. Really, really good. Alright, next up is this little tree farm I have set up. So, take these out. So we've got a block breaker, a block placer, and a plant grower. Plant grower has some bone meal. This has some saplings. Block placers there, and then we have it feeding into a kiln with some coal, and then all feeding into this wooden crate. So to start off, we're going to turn on that, turn on the grower, and I've got it all set. So the problem was I broke the block breaker when I rewrote it recently. So if we want to have a tree farm block breaker instead of, as you can see, it's just breaking that. What we want to do is give it a sharpness 1 upgrade, and then, boop, it ate the tree. So I have it filtering, so all apples go in here, all saplings go back into the block placer. And as you can see, all this is cooking up in here. And we're doing good. We have a reverse sapling too. Alright. Bone meal is trying to go. It's trying to bone meal. It's not really working though. Let's try to help it. Wow. Just getting unlucky today then. As you can see, places it grows them pretty quick and chops them super quick. You get more saplings than you use. We start with 1 stack. And we got a bunch of apples too. Got a bunch of charcoal coming in here. Pretty darn cool. Let's see what else is there. What else? I think that's about it. Yeah, if you look in the creative tabs, you can see some in progress stuff that's not ready yet. Yeah, that should be about it. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope this helped a little. Getting to know the mod. Wow, this thing is just flying. Just flying. So this is a really good setup for getting coal for your boilers, because you don't even need the grower. This will grow eventually, and then it's just completely self-contained now. If you really wanted to, you could take some coal, put it into like a tube next to it, so it's feeding into here. So if we put like that into there, put some coal into here, I'll keep that going into there. Alright guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time. See ya.